First contact under fire. The stars stretched into brilliant streaks as the U.S. Vanguard's quantum drive engaged, pulling the ship through the fabric of space-time. On the bridge, Captain Maya Chen gripped her command chair as the vessel shuddered violently, something that definitely wasn't supposed to happen during a routine jump. Status report. She called out, maintaining composure despite the alarms blaring across every station. Lieutenant Commander Jackson Reeves, her chief engineer and the mastermind behind the experimental drive, frantically worked his console. Quantum field destabilizing. Something's interfering with our calibrations. The view screen flickered, showing only the swirling chaos of hyperspace before suddenly, jarringly, they emerged into normal space. The violent transition threw several crew members from their stations as emergency stabilizers struggled to compensate. All stop. Damage report. Chen ordered, rising to her feet as the ship finally steadied. Science Officer Dr. Immerse Singh was the first to recover, her dark eyes widening as she studied her readings. Captain, you need to see this. Chen stepped toward the main view screen as it cleared to reveal a sight no human had ever witnessed. A massive space battle stretching across an entire star system. Hundreds, perhaps thousands of ships engaged in combat, energy weapons crisscrossing the void, explosions blooming silently against the backdrop of stars. My God, whispered Commander David Torres, Chen's first officer. What have we jumped into? The Vanguard was Earth's first true deep space vessel, equipped with the newly developed quantum drive that had promised to take humanity beyond their solar system. This was supposed to be a carefully planned maiden voyage to Proxima Centauri, not whatever hellscape they'd stumbled upon. Tactical assessment, Chen demanded, her voice steady despite the chaos displayed before them. Lieutenant Kira Yoshida's fingers danced across her tactical station. 2 distinct fleets, Captain. Different design philosophies, weapon signatures, and energy profiles. Extremely advanced technology, far beyond anything in our database. Any immediate threats to Vanguard? We're at the periphery of the battle zone. They don't appear to have noticed us yet, but Yoshida's console suddenly flashed red. Correction. We're being scanned. Multiple vessels from both fleets are breaking formation and heading our way. Chen made a split-second decision. Yellow alert. Raise shields, but do not power weapons. We're visitors here, not combatants. Captain, Torres objected. We have no idea who these species are or what their intentions. We're not starting a war, Commander. Earth's first contact won't be at the barrel of a gun. The approaching vessels were unlike anything humanity had imagined. From one direction came sleek, crystalline ships that seemed to bend light around their hulls, their surfaces gleaming with intricate patterns of energy. From the other approached angular, biomechanical vessels with segmented hulls that moved with unsettling organic fluidity. We're being hailed, Communications Officer Lieutenant Felix Navarro announced, both groups simultaneously. Chen straightened her uniform. Split screen. Let's meet our neighbors. The view screen divided to reveal 2 starkly different alien beings. On the left, a tall, willowy figure with iridescent skin and multiple pairs of eyes arranged vertically along an elongated face. On the right, a stockier being with armored exoskeletal plates and 4 arms, its amber eyes regarding the humans with clear suspicion. This is Captain Maya Chen of the Earth vessel U.S. Vanguard, she stated clearly. We are on a peaceful mission of exploration and apologize for our intrusion into your conflict. The iridescent being spoke first, its voice translated by the ship's computer into a melodious, almost musical pattern. I am Supreme Commander Zillith of the Viridian Collective. Your primitive vessel has violated contested space. Withdraw immediately or be eliminated. The armored being clicked what appeared to be mandibles before responding in a deeper, resonating tone. High Marshal Krovac of the Araxian Empire. Your presence is irrelevant. You will not interfere with our rightful conquest. Chen maintained her diplomatic stance. We have no intention of interfering. Our jump drive malfunctioned, bringing us here accidentally. We simply seek passage tow. Your technology is noted. Krovac interrupted. Primitive, yet unusual. Your propulsion method created distortions in our sensor grid. Zilith's multiple eyes narrowed. Indeed, your arrival disrupted our targeting matrices momentarily. Explain this capability. Chen glanced at Reeves, who had gone pale at the revelation. He mouthed silently. The quantum harmonic field. Before Chen could respond, a massive explosion blossomed near the Vanguard as the main battle lines shifted toward their position. The ship rocked violently. Shields down to 78%, Yoshida reported. We're caught in the crossfire. Chen made a decision. Full power to engines. Get us clear of the battlefield. As helmsman Lieutenant Omar Al-Farsidi engaged thrusters, another blast caught them, spinning the Vanguard violently. Drive systems damage. Reeves called out. We can't jump, and sublight engines are compromised. Chen watched as both alien commanders observed their predicament without offering assistance. How long has this battle been going on? She asked them directly. Zilith's expression shifted subtly. This engagement, 3 of your Earth days. The war itself, Krovac added, over 800,000 years. A stunned silence fell over the Vanguard's bridge. Human civilization had barely existed for a fraction of that time. 800,000 years. Chen repeated. What could possibly be worth fighting for that long? The Viridians stole our sacred world of Araxis Prime, Krovac snarled. After the Araxians bombarded our colony worlds into extinction, Zilith countered. And before that, Chen pressed. Both alien commanders fell silent, their expressions suggesting they couldn't precisely recall how it all began. Dr. Singh approached Chen quietly. Captain, I've been analyzing the energy signatures of their weapons. They're using quantum phase technology, not unlike our drive system's theoretical foundations. Reeves joined them, his eyes widening with realization. That's why our jump was disrupted. Their weapons created a resonance pattern that destabilized our quantum field. And our arrival disrupted their targeting, Chen mused. An idea began forming in her mind as another explosion rocked the ship. Shields at 42%, Yoshida warned. We can't take much more of this. Chen turned back to the alien commanders, who were now arguing with each other, seemingly having forgotten the humans entirely. Supreme Commander Zilith, High Marshal Krovac, she interrupted firmly. I propose a temporary ceasefire in our vicinity. In exchange, we will demonstrate a technology that may be of interest to both your civilizations. Both aliens regarded her with skepticism. What could your primitive species possibly offer? Zilith asked. Chen smiled confidently. A way to end your war without either side admitting defeat. The alien commanders exchanged glances across their split screens before Krovac responded. You have 1 planetary rotation to prepare this demonstration. Then we resume our rightful conquest. Agreed, Zilith added. But be warned, deception will result in your immediate destruction. As the transmissions ended, Torres approached Chen. Captain, what exactly are we offering them? Chen turned to Reeves and Singh. That's what you two are going to figure out. They'd been fighting for 800,000 years using quantum weapons. Our drive accidentally disrupted those weapons. I want to know if we can do it deliberately, and on a much larger scale. Reeves ran a hand through his hair nervously. You want to neutralize the weapons of 2 vastly superior alien armadas. I want to offer them a chance at peace, Chen corrected, and show them that sometimes it takes an outsider, a newcomer, to see solutions invisible to those trapped in ancient conflicts. As her crew rushed to work, Captain Chen gazed out at the battlefield where ships continued to destroy each other in the distance. Humanity had just stepped onto the galactic stage in the middle of a war older than human civilization itself. Their survival, and perhaps the future of these ancient species, now depended on the ingenuity that had always defined Earth's children at their best. The Vanguard might have arrived by accident, but Maya Chen was determined they wouldn't leave without making history. Humanity's solution, The Vanguard's engineering bay had been transformed into a chaotic workshop. Crew members from every department worked alongside Chief Engineer Reeves and Dr. Singh, repurposing components from the damaged quantum drive. Captain Chen entered to find exhausted personnel still working feverishly, despite having been at it for nearly 20 hours straight. "Tell me we have something," she said, handing Reeves a much-needed cup of coffee. The engineer took a grateful sip before gesturing to a hastily assembled device at the center of the bay. "We're calling it a quantum harmonic dampening field generator. In theory, it should create a cascading resonance pattern that will temporarily neutralize their weapons systems." "In theory?" Chen raised an eyebrow. Dr. Singh looked up from her calculations. "The mathematics are sound, Captain. Their quantum phase weapons operate on principles similar to our drive, just weaponized. By generating a counter-resonance field, we should be able to collapse the quantum cohesion their weapons require." "And the range?" Reeves grimaced. "That's the problem. With our available power, maybe a few kilometers, nowhere near enough to affect both fleets. Unless," Singh interjected, her eyes brightening, "we could get them to gather their command ships in one location." Chen considered this. They'd never agree to bring their flagships together. "No," Torres said from the doorway where he'd been listening, "but they might agree to a neutral meeting, a formal demonstration of our technology." Chen nodded slowly, an audacious plan forming. "How much longer do you need?" 3 hours for final calibrations, Reeves answered. "You have 2, Chen replied. "The ceasefire ends soon, and I need to convince 2 species who've been trying to annihilate each other for longer than human civilization has existed to sit down at the same table." Back on the bridge, Chen faced the alien commanders again. Their expressions showed growing impatience. "Your time is nearly exhausted," Xylith stated. "Our forces are prepared to resume combat operations, and to eliminate your vessel if your promised demonstration is inadequate," Krovac added. Chen maintained a confident posture despite her racing heart. "Supreme Commander, High Marshal, I formally invite you both to a neutral meeting aboard the Vanguard. Our technology requires proximity to be properly demonstrated." Both aliens immediately objected. "You expect me to board a vessel with an Araxian present?" Xylith's multiple eyes blinked in rapid succession. "This is clearly a trap," Krovac growled. Chen had anticipated this reaction. "Each of you may bring 2 armed guards. We will meet in our largest compartment, our shuttle bay, with equal distance between all parties. Your vessels may maintain weapons lock on the Vanguard throughout the demonstration." The aliens fell silent, considering. "What guarantee do we have of safety?" Xylith finally asked. "The same guarantee we have," Chen replied evenly. "None. After 800,000 years, perhaps it's time for a small leap of faith." To her surprise, Krovac laughed, a rumbling sound like stones grinding together. "You have courage, human. Very well. I will attend your demonstration." After a moment's hesitation, Xylith agreed as well. As the transmission ended, Torres shook his head in disbelief. "You actually convinced them. But Captain, if this doesn't work, then humanity's first contact with advanced alien civilizations will also be its last." Chen finished grimly. "Let's make sure it works." The shuttle bay had been hastily rearranged. The prototype quantum harmonic dampening field generator sat on a platform in the center, surrounded by a hastily erected transparent barrier. Reeves and Singh made final adjustments while security personnel lined the walls. "Remember," Chen instructed her crew, "no sudden movements. These species have been conditioned by centuries of war to expect treachery." The bay doors opened first to admit Xylith and 2 Viridian guards. The willowy aliens moved with fluid grace despite their obvious tension. Their translucent skin pulsed with patterns of light that seemed to communicate information among them. Minutes later, Krovac and his Araxian guards entered from the opposite side. They moved with military precision, their armored exoskeletons clicking softly with each step. Both delegations positioned themselves as far from each other as possible while maintaining clear sight lines to the humans and the device. "Welcome aboard the U.S. Vanguard," Chen began, stepping forward into the neutral space between them. "We appreciate your willingness to attend this demonstration." "Proceed quickly, human," Krovac demanded. "Our patience wanes." Chen nodded to Reeves, who activated a holographic display. "For 800,000 years, your civilizations have fought using quantum phase weaponry. These weapons tear apart the fabric of space-time on a subatomic level, causing devastating damage. We are aware of our own technology," Xylith said dryly. "But perhaps you've never considered its fundamental vulnerability," Chen continued. "Dr. Singh, if you would explain." Singh stepped forward, her voice steady despite addressing beings whose civilizations predated humanity's emergence from caves. "All quantum phase systems rely on coherence, the synchronized state of quantum particles across space-time. Disrupt that coherence, and the entire system fails." "This is basic physics," Krovac growled. "Our scientists mastered these principles before your species walked upright." "Then you'll appreciate the elegance of our solution," Chen replied. "Our quantum drive doesn't just move through space. It harmonizes with the quantum field itself, creating a stable bubble that allows transit. We've modified this technology to create a disruptive field that will neutralize all quantum weapons within range." "Impossible," Xylith declared, though there was a note of uncertainty in the melodious voice. Chen smiled. "Commander Reeves." The engineer activated the device. A soft hum filled the shuttle bay as the generator powered up. Subtle waves of blue-white energy began to emanate from it, washing over everyone present. "As a demonstration," Chen said, "both of your guards are carrying quantum phase sidearms. I invite them to attempt to discharge these weapons." The alien guards looked to their commanders, who nodded permission. Both sets of guards raised their weapons and triggered them, to no effect. The weapons remained inert, their power indicators dimming. "This is a simple interference trick," Krovac accused, though he couldn't hide his intrigue. "It's more than that," Singh responded. "This field doesn't just neutralize active weapons, it prevents quantum cohesion from forming at all. No quantum phase technology can function within it." As if to underscore her point, alarms suddenly blared throughout the Vanguard. "Captain," Yoshida's voice came over the comm. "Multiple ships from both fleets have broken the ceasefire. They're moving into attack positions." Chen turned to the alien commanders. "It seems some of your forces have decided not to wait for diplomacy." Through the shuttle bay's observation windows, they could see energy weapons beginning to flare in the distance. Xylith and Krovac both moved to communicate with their fleets, but Chen raised a hand. "Before you order a full resumption of hostilities, let me show you what humanity's primitive technology can really do." She nodded to Reeves, who typed a final command sequence. The generator's hum deepened, and the blue-white energy field suddenly expanded outward from the Vanguard in a rapidly growing sphere. On the tactical display, they watched as the field encountered the first wave of combatants. Ship after ship suddenly went dark as their quantum weapon systems failed. Propulsion remained functional, but the destructive capability that had defined their war for millennia simply stopped. "The effect is temporary," Chen explained as the alien commanders watched in shock. "About 30 minutes with this prototype. But we can build larger, more permanent versions." "You would disarm both our civilizations?" Krovac demanded, anger mixing with wonder in his voice. "No," Chen replied. "We would offer you both a choice. Continue fighting with conventional weapons, which would take centuries to cause the damage your quantum arms do in days, or consider that perhaps after 800,000 years, neither side truly remembers what they're fighting for." Silence fell over the shuttle bay as the implications sank in. Outside, the battlefield had gone quiet for the first time in living memory for both species. "Your people have the knowledge to rebuild this technology," Xylith observed. "We do," Chen acknowledged. "But we also know its limitations. The field generator requires constant adjustment to counter advances in quantum weaponry. Without regular updates from our scientists, any version we provide would eventually become obsolete. You position yourselves as necessary mediators, Krovac said, comprehension dawning. Chen nodded. We're offering a path to de-escalation that doesn't require either side to surrender. A technological solution to a conflict that has become self-perpetuating. And what does Earth gain from this arrangement? Zilith asked shrewdly. A peaceful galaxy to explore, Chen answered honestly. And perhaps, eventually, allies instead of enemies. She paused, then added, 800,000 years is long enough for any war. What might your peoples have achieved if you'd spent even half that time cooperating instead of destroying? The alien commanders looked at each other directly for what might have been the first time in millennia without weapon fire between them. This will not be simple, Krovac finally said. There are grievances. Many grievances, Zilith agreed. But perhaps there could be discussions. Chen knew better than to push too hard. Centuries of hatred wouldn't dissolve in a day. That's all we suggest. Discussions with the quantum dampening field ensuring they remain civil. Outside the vanguard, the disarmed fleets drifted in an unprecedented ceasefire. Ships that had been trying to destroy each other moments ago now simply waited. We will need time to consult with our respective councils, Zilith said finally. And guarantees that this technology will be shared equally, Krovac added. Chen nodded. Of course. In the meantime, perhaps a more formal ceasefire might be arranged. The commanders exchanged another look before both gave their species equivalent of a nod. As they departed to their respective shuttles, Torres stepped beside Chen. Did we just broker peace for a war that's raged since before humans existed? Not peace, Chen corrected, watching the alien delegations leave. Not yet, but perhaps the first step toward it. She turned to her first officer with a tired smile. Not bad for a species that's barely mastered interstellar travel. Humanity's first official act in galactic politics. Torres mused, and we've already changed the course of history. Captain Chen gazed out at the stars beyond the shuttle bay, where the ancient fleets now hung motionless, their quantum weapons silenced for the first time in unimaginable millennia. That's what humans do best, Commander, she replied quietly. We see possibilities where others see only the patterns of the past. She straightened her uniform and turned toward the bridge. Let's go make some history.